Hello everybody, welcome. I'm Chef Rob. Today we're going to make a spring frittata, and it has some spring asparagus and some tomatoes in it. Fontina cheese, any type of mild cheese will work, okay? So we're just going to dice that up. But first thing we want to do, add a little bit of butter, about a tablespoon of butter, and about a tablespoon of olive oil into the pan. And we're going to start cooking the asparagus. And just a little drizzle of the olive oil. The asparagus, you want about 12 ounces of asparagus. A 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch little pieces. Okay, just like this. Just make sure that you take off the ends where they're a little woody and a little strong, which I already did. They kind of go down here and they get very white. Okay, so as soon as this butter melts, we will add the asparagus in here. Add a little bit of salt and pepper in here. Just a little. And as the butter is melting, I'm just going to take a tomato. Just take the stem out. And then I'm just going to cut this in half, de-seed it, and chop it small. So any of this seed here, just kind of take that out. Okay, you don't want any extra liquid in here. And while the asparagus is cooking, we will then take the eggs and a little bit of cream and mix them together. We're going to use 6 eggs today. This one doesn't have a lot of seeds in it. Okay, and then just kind of chop this up a little bit small. The butter melting, so let me just take this asparagus, put this right in here. And we just want to get it nice and crisp and tender. It'll take about 2 minutes. I'm adding a little bit of kosher salt in here. And a little fresh ground black pepper. And if you have a non-stick skillet, always use a wooden spoon so that way you don't scratch the surface of the pan. And you just keep moving that around. I'm just going to go back, start chopping up the tomato. Okay. This is a beefsteak tomato. All times of the year, there are always certain ones that are very good, certain ones that are not that great. The plum tomato is another one that you could use, and if you are using a plum tomato, I would say use 2 plum tomatoes, because this one is a little bit larger. So I'm just going to leave that to the side. While the asparagus is cooking, let me take 6 large eggs, just put them in a little bowl. Medium-sized bowl would be fine. And then about 2 tablespoons of either whipping cream, heavy whipping cream, or half and half. It will just give it a little bit more richness in there compared to a regular milk or a low fat milk. And it's just about 2 tablespoons in there, that's all. This is really nice for a spring brunch. Let me just whip this up really good. And now about 2 tablespoons of the cream. And a little bit of salt and pepper in here as well. So just take the cream, the 6 eggs, the salt and the pepper, and just whip that really well. And just set that to the side. Let's just check on our asparagus. Still needs just a little bit more cooking. So you can give it a little flip just like this, or just take that wooden spoon and just kind of mix it around like that too. So when this is nice and tender, the tomatoes are going to go in here, and we're going to let that cook for about 2 minutes. I have on already the broiler. I turn the broiler on high because we're going to let it settle on this burner, and then when we put it under the broiler, we're going to finish it off. We want it to get nice and golden and make sure that egg isn't kind of moving around. We want it to be cooked through. And of course, cook it the way you like it. Some people like eggs cooked really, really well. Some like it just cooked, okay? So that you'll have to use your judgment on at home, okay? All right, nice and tender. I'm gonna put these tomatoes in here. Like that. And now just mix the tomatoes in. We're going to let this cook for about 2 minutes. And this will have such a really nice presentation when we platter it later. And if you want to make life easy, you could serve it right in this pan too. Just make sure you use something like a spatula like this to kind of cut it out. Okay. So I'm going to dice up a little bit of the Fontina cheese. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of cut this up. And the Fontina cheese, if you don't have it, like a provolone, a Gouda, a Gruyere, all would work really well. So you just kind of dice in the cheese so it goes throughout. Just about 1 more minute on this. And then we're going to pour this egg mixture right in here. And then we're just going to let it cook for a few minutes until it settles, okay? Just going to let it set just a little bit. So our asparagus is cooked all the way through with the tomatoes. Let's just take this egg mixture, just give it another whisk as you put it right in the same pan. Just pour it right over this. Just kind of turn this onto a medium heat. And we're going to let this go for a few minutes. Just kind of let it settle, almost like start to form along the sides of the pan. It will not be done right here though. So as you can see, it's starting to cook the edges along here. We still want to give it another few minutes. And then we'll put the cheese right on top of this. And then we're going to stick it right under the broiler and finish this off. So this has gone for about 4 to 5 minutes. I'm just going to sprinkle on the Fontina cheese right on top here. And I'm just going to reduce this on low until it really settles a little more. And then I'm just going to pop it right under that broiler. You can get it nice and bubbly if you want, kind of crisp the cheese up. So this is looking really, really good. At the end, after it settles, you just kind of go right along here just to kind of get it right out of the pan. Okay, and you can see it's just going to slide right out, which is exactly what you want. Always make sure you're using a good pan, a good quality pan as well too. If it has some wear on the pans, it's not going to slide right out for you. So we're now going to take this and put it right under the broiler. Okay, let's put this right in. So here we have it in the oven right under the broiler here. Always make sure that when you're grabbing this to take it out that you have a towel, okay, or a pot holder just to get it out. Okay, we're going to get a nice crust on top of there. Just get that cheese all melted, the egg fully cooked through. Usually the center is where you have to check it at the last, right before it's done. So I just took this out of the broiler. Everything cooked all the way through, cheese all melted. Nice to have the different colors with the tomatoes, the green asparagus, the whitish yellowish cheese on there. So it gives a lot of a different color for spring. You want to let it settle just for about 2 minutes and then we'll put it right on this platter here. You can always serve all different type brunch things with this. Of course, bagels and muffins and a little salad. Always be perfect with this. Because spring we always start eating a little bit lighter and more colorful too. So now that this is settled for 2 minutes, I always kind of take the spatula, go along here just in case it has a mind of its own and wants to stick. Make sure it just comes right out just like that. And you have a really beautiful spring asparagus frittata. So I hope you will make this and I hope you enjoy this. And feel free to change it whether it's with broccoli, sun-dried tomatoes, roasted peppers, artichokes, spinach. It'll all be good. Enjoy.